Hey everybody, Mario 96 Luigi here doing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'll be doing the first one first, the Great Ace Attorney Adventures.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors,
That guy looks ugly. That face, I mean.
Great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
The story already begins and he's already charged with a crime. Episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. November 843, Supreme Court of Judiciary, Defendants Architecture, Arc Chamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can this be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryonosuke Naohiro. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yomei University. 3 days ago, I somehow find myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now here I am, waiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer, and I'll be defending him today. Lawyer. Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on this case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So, you will hold your tongue. Technicalities, look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Yonosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, I suppose that wasn't my fault. Not really, Kazuma. I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Yeah. Though I must say you've been all over the newspaper these past few days. Yomei University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously you wouldn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryonosuke. Kazuma Asaki, my best friend, also in his second year of Yomei University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still just an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. Looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. Oh, you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend, and it's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea, after all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in the English class tomorrow, then, partner. It was straight after that when it happened. Asagi, may I have a word with Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now, Asagi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers, why? He was looking for you before. Your advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him up at the university before. I see, I'll go then. Once, then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Marionosuke. See you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Ugh, this is awkward. If I may, yes, sorry. You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhito. I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mitsuba. I'm the professor of forensics medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mitsuba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asagi told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you no doubt heard, Asagi has been granted permission to go study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? Ah, I suspected you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asagi may have chosen not to tell you. He agreed to defend me knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has chosen from a large number of applicants from overseas study. Very difficult to pursue them. to grant permission, even if the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm not sure that's true, nevertheless, I'm sure that's true. I can assume that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain particularities about today's trial. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally I'm going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do, but what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our superstitious discussion are going to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asaki must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in advocating for anyone likes of you anyway. Those jerks. This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over, and what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, murder back then is punishable by death. I have absolutely no idea what may lay ahead. I may embark on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance to prove my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. (22nd November, 9 o'clock a.m. Supreme Court of Judicial Courtroom 2. So, this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicial. No court in this land has more power. I don't like the looks of those people sitting in, much like the looks of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that demand that this be a secret trial. A secret trial. A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Yonosuke. It's about to begin. The courtroom will now hear the trial of Yonosuke Naruhodo. The prosecutor is a descendant of Winston Payne. Ancestor. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As for the defense, before we begin, is there one point of what I would like to confirm? Yesterday's evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's right. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made that request myself. Normal procedure is that the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. This is an unusual circumstance. I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defense, for the defendant in this trial? That's the question. This is it. That must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the French juror meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear that I'll be advocating for his defense. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Nigma told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said your dreams of studying abroad will be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, if last chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you feel. That's just exactly why I decided not to tell you. Just... Professor Mita shouldn't have stuck his nose in. They both really care about each other. Very well, the court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well, does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
It's far from that. Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant, and it is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. You'll do fine. In fact, my mind's completely blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, I'm a university student who has been brought before the Supreme Court. You must be perpetuated a most hideous crime indeed. As you're no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judiciary of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes. Yes, Your Excellency. Is therefore my duty to exercise your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? Is questioning your ability to do the job. Well, you can't be questioning it more than I am. Let's start with a very simple question. Yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. That's easy enough. I've heard his name more than a few times I care to remember. But, wait. Look, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess, your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record, but I can't even find that. It's simple, you have access to the court record with a press of R1. Even if you ever find you're forgetting something, just consult that. It's all there. Just have to press R1 for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you collected. Now try switching to people instead with R1. You'll find the details of the victim in here. When you're done, just press chat circle to go back. Now remember, everything you do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep us actually waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section to the court record, then press triangle to present it now. Right now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of the esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. His name will be important later, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. the British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. As most of you are aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. That can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilled on our own soil. The two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor at the very institute that provides your education. Have you no honor? He has no honor. Ugh, but I didn't do it. The case is coming up great scrutiny from our allies on both sides, on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. That's exactly it. You're a convenient, expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. That's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities. It isn't? Exactly. Our government needs to make someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make a difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay here and enjoy the place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire, wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still I should go and say hello. So I went over to Professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let's pose the next question, my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did the Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court every assertion must be backed by evidence. By evidence, but how? Find the piece of evidence that shows Professor's cause of death and then select President. Then, do it now.
Yes!
Well. According to this document, the victim was suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's post-mortem report, I take it. Yeah, Harry, yes, that's right. That, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death and an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions from that. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. The so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern torch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, Counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic pink. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well, I'm satisfied with your answers. Let's start the trial. Here we go. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without a further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecutor hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? Do you mean Dr. Metaba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said Cosmo Oski must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would greatly appreciate it, Cosmo. Well, my first piece of advice, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. If only you had reined in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at the Western-style restaurant called La Carnaval. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should. As everyone knows, this capital southeastern quarter was developed with foreigner visitors some years ago. It's a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one district's so-called restaurant and a Seattle eatery 3 days ago. Understood. Hasanaka-san, will you kindly tell the court everything about the incident? At once, sir. And no poetry injections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. No, perspiring, maybe, but aspiring. It would be just after 2 p.m. that day in question. We had a few diners at the time of day. A time rush was over and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits my memory of it too. There were hardly anyone else in that place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman slumped in his chair, and standing incredibly beside him, head gun in hand, was the accused university student. Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up the gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjection, discourse wishing to listen to the witness report of what he saw, you amateur. But the judge, this time you interrupt with an appropriate time, you will be penalized. Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Yunosuke, you'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witnesses. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with gun in hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. Apart from the accused, was there anyone else was standing beside the victim? No. Lies. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? But there was no one else. There was no one else around the table. What's the matter, Inosuke? That's just not right. When I went to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Interject anyway. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day, I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant described recording proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be the accused, a mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure what I saw. Onagasa-san, is there a chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of the events is hazy? He's lying. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see, a sketch of the establishment layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I am afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question is seated alone. Very well. You clearly a very conspicuous waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to court records as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, here you are. That card has a secret. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seemed to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court records. He's really upset about that card. It holds a clue. So the court was now heard a precursor of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot we heard was in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It was seen we're looking at a black and white case here. The defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court would be willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you will merely have small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. That means he's still going to be executed, but he won't be for a little while. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you're determined to pursue matters further in this court. The prosecution has cited decisive evidence from sworn witnesses that who are also present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty in the state and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that the trial is unusual about these particularities. You said it, Professor Mitsuba said it, and So has the judge and prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the last outset, I believe you're innocent, I trust you, and yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to throw that back in my face, is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. As you're going to abandon that duty, are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. We'll see how decisive this evidence it really is. Indeed, the prosecutor asks Chi, please continue with the proceedings. Well, you're warned. The young can be so reckless, you know. Many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I meant to be. Look, in a few short moments from now, the dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Japanese Imperial Army's Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I employ as a purveyor of fine articles and antiquities from efflorescence of our nation Nippon. And I conduct my trade in Ruste, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Imperial Karata, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier, what an unusual pairing. So these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea at the most exquisite aroma of the establishment in question. And not infrequently converse with interest parties regarding the curios in which I make my business. I can't understand a word of that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he was a regular at La Carnavala. He selects potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnaval because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see, although to be honest, that sergeant looks more like to be a seller rather than a buyer. You both witnessed the precise moment of this atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can all be described as active war, sir. It was this black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. That man is impossible to understand as the others. I'm also sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear from your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir. Standing, be ready. Ready to report, sir. And savor memories of a very afternoon. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regular beef steak on the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was instructing the virtues of the particularly fine golden hero to this military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's action with my own eyes. This black uniformed varsity cadet fired upon an English civilian from the back with cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating to the whereabouts of the mysteriously absconded Furious Curio. So he didn't see anything. So you, Sergeant Nelsa, who actually witnessed the vital moment, you saw the split second where the defendant fired the weapon of the victim? Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That weak university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in where an English gentleman may be assailed by in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anybody. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun that was lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat to drink my coffee. That's when I finished. I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought first perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, it was a setup. Well, if that's the truth, then obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere else. So, somewhere in these two witness testimony, there's a clue to who that criminal was. Where there is. Alright, Nosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in this testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony in the court has eliminates any vague vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of what in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachiman headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. How did you know? The prosecution exists. This is clearly a waste of time. The defense has no experience. How could he possibly carry out a cross-examination? Well, he is defending himself. The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Go. Cosmo is so commanding. Very well. Let the defendant conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious you have to expose the lies in these witnesses' statements? Huh? How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said had to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing it, that is evidence. Right. Evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive evidence and indisputable evidence that proves that the witness is lying. Now, let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was strolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden kiro at the military gentleman. I'm not gonna read it again. I can't look at this yet.
Yes!
What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting this wad of papers in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this document possibly tell us what we don't already know? Well, obviously that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. You think that proving beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom? Ugh, this is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely that doesn't require explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance that this podium report presented by the defense that there is a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Ieyasu-san. Yes, sir. What? Sir. The statement you just made was this. The Blackthorn University consent fired on the English civilian. And from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes. He was shot from the front.
Yes!
Not the back. But no. That can't be. And why not, cadet? The burn marks. Because... As it clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from particular ballistic trauma, no exit wound. The bullet does not pass through the body. The photograph clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Muslim, died from a bullet to the chest. According to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. That oblique discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Well, what the... What was that? Something popped out from behind his back and pushed it back down again. Certainly, there's no clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant? Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be and indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixated on the delicious Carnel Bell steak, sir. What? Last testimony in the court heard he was proven one thing beyond reasonable doubt, that he saw it actually happen. But that's a lie. The witness, Sergeant Iesa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. Ugh, that's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There's no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Ugh. Ah! Inconsistency, sneer, Brophy. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. That's what a courtroom case is. Exposing lies. So that's what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. The university cadet here, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it off the floor. And you, old man, didn't see the moment the victim was shot right there? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interests me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the EA-era Koban, my prized coin. One on each occasion when I visit the restaurant, it is my habitude to place it in my bosom pocket of a particular trinket of interest from my shop, writ to say, in hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. One day, under scrutiny, it was the military man that I offered my Hawaii treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not, but it was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes from the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table, it was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. A Koban is a gold coin used for currency from the wealthy. You heard a gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but he did not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hawaii treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hawaii Koban was lost to me. No doubt someone obscurious scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. But there's no proof yet. I'm sure that everyone present is aware that this case demands swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full route to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, this witness testimony the court has just heard was inconceivable. No matter how subversive our government feels that it must be to the British, it would be unfavorable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Akechi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have led a tiger in front of the front gate, but he will find a wolf at his back. Eyewitness has further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statement, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The eventual despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruto. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. Who will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's litigation. Is that clear? As clear as Puroto glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone speaking out of over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative, the newest member of the Nosa family to rise up to the ranks, sir. Name, Aido. It was he. The strap that are a sign of a sergeant being too strapped to afford an nanny. Aido, Ten Shun. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment of the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. No, it's not. Yes, pointing the gun at a foreigner man was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premise at the same time confirmed that there were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Out. Yeah. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of this outburst already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. They're averting their eyes. Objection! You'll call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of this court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time it hit. The prosecutor has photographic evidence of this, in fact. This is the photographic pint of the scene of the crime of the council. Indeed, on the table which the victim was hiding, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident, as plain as he, there is only one plate set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Ugh, this doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm gonna end it here for now. So thanks for watching, like, comment, and subscribe.